We are all having a shared experience. And it's so beautiful when you learn to just trust yourself and trust your inner guidance and recognize that you are having a shared thought because you not only believe it, but the universe, spirit also shows you that what you are dreaming, what your soul is calling out to you is also being reflected back to you. And so I just want to say this, like, self-trust can feel like a delusion, right? It can feel as though it makes no sense. But if you've ever in your life decided to take a leap of faith on something that no one else could see except you, and in retrospect or hindsight, you realize, like, I needed to take these steps to do this and do that and be here. But all of it was a part of the journey, and essentially you trusting in yourself and in your soul's calling, because that's what it is. And I'm sitting here watching a YouTube video, and she's saying the exact same thing that I say, of how, like, you know, and you know when something is calling to you, and everything in your reality will try to tell you that what you are being called towards is wrong, or place that fear or that limitation in front of you to stop you because of the fear or the limitation that they also possess, right? And so, but but when you are tapped into your own inner knowing and your own voice of guidance, which isn't absent of guidance of other people and of anything else, but when you are tapped into your own inner guidance, you understand what your soul is asking you, right? And so it can feel so overwhelming when you're being asked to make a change or do something. And it's so funny because I remember when I was 19 and I came out to my parents, and my coming out story, it was not a good one at all. But one of the best things that I could have done for myself was move. And I was only 19 at the time, but I recognized that it was so many things. It was so many things that was like just telling me, like, that's where, like, just telling me that I needed to move, right? And and so I did. And it was the best decision that I could have made. And eventually I ended up going home. And I can, I can go more into depth about my coming out story because I honestly would love to share it. It ended up being like a really interesting and beautiful, and it's such a interest. It's such a it's it's a wild story. It's an all encompassing story, but the point is that I trusted myself, and I trusted myself, and a lot of people don't trust themselves. A lot of people don't trust themselves when it comes to the things that their soul is calling them to do. And everything is reflected back at you as to where it is that you are and what it is that you need if you trust it, right? And so, for anyone that needs to hear this, in whatever way, is if there is something that your soul and your spirit is calling you to do, and it may feel so out there, trust yourself, because you really do have the inner knowing and you have the answers. And it's not given to you for just any reason, especially if you are of sound mind and of sound body and of sound spirit. These are all things that I think, especially as Black and brown people, we tend to forget that we are the source, and that is that like these are the things that our ancestors relied on. Whether you are African ancestry, whether you are Native American, whether you are Latino, whether you are Asian, whatever the case, these are all things that were and are a part of who we naturally are, and our guidance of, I mean, when you think about Harriet Tubman and how this phenomenal woman used the guidance that she was given, which was probably given to her from spirit, to use the North Star as her guiding light to the north. I mean, so it's just like all of this is within us, has always been. And so don't doubt that. Don't doubt your inner knowing, and you have it. And so lean into your self-trust and recognize that and I think one of the beautiful things that if you're looking for a way to that like a simple way to start cultivating your self-trust, I would say begin meditating. Meditation is probably one of the best ways to start cultivating that self-trust, because it allows you to just sit in silence, or whether you use music, whatever the case may be. And what it is you're creating a space for yourself to listen to yourself. And I can go more into it, if that makes sense, but like I can go more into it, and there's so many different modalities that you can use, but it's a way of tapping into your inner self, because it allows you to be still. It requires you to be still. That's it. That's it. It requires you to be still. And once you start learning how to be still and be quiet, you are then able to listen. And so, yes, that's it. Namaste.